Lord, Lord, I'm watching videos of farmers. Remember, if you paid attention, Obama and then Biden helped farmers, the same farmers that's MAGA. We get off my land. We pick yourself up by the bootstraps. We don't want no communism. We hate China. China was paying for all of y'all food and goods. What China wasn't paying for, y'all were government contracted to give to the rest of the US. Y'all are the ultimate socialist. Are you kidding me? Now, farmers in Nebraska are begging Trump for subsidies and that monthly check. Well, then, when Trump went and do anything, they all got in a prayer circle and they said, "The Lord God, please." But I just couldn't seem to understand what they were saying because I was too busy remembering all the times they was talking shit about the elderly, the veterans, the homeless, the gays, the blacks, the Hispanics, the Muslims, the Jews. And now all these Americans are asking for help. I have told y'all that no matter how old I get, I still am surprised day after day. I just cannot. They're asking RNs and LPNs that have worked 40, 50, 60-hour weeks to volunteer to pick blueberries. Are y'all mad? Are y'all, when I ask that, that's not sarcasm. Are you mad? Not the person watching. Maybe one day a billionaire will watch and this will be for him. What? Maybe I've lost my mind. Lord, no, it can't be that. I seem to be of sound mind. So I'm seeing all these people in Mecca flip and switch. Uno reverse card. Now y'all don't trust Trump? So I wanted to say something a while back, but I had initially forgot about it. One of the things Charlie Kirk said was he said that he doesn't trust a black pilot if he sees one. You all should do some research on World War II, the Tuskegee Airmen, and you all should do some research on who they sent into battle first, like in Vietnam and World War II and stuff. And you should see who was requested all the time during World War II. Black dudes. It's funny, right? A 98.4, or was it 99? 98.4 success rate versus the Germans was slaughtering. They were mocking them at first, right? Oh, it's a whole story behind it. That stuff they want to erase. Oh, they was mocking them, right? One of the things that I did read about is that the African Americans would stick with the bombers and they wouldn't go chase people and try to win fights. And they started fucking them Nazis up. Excuse my French. Oh, oui, oui. Every time I do research and learn the truth, and more of the truth, man, I'm honestly surprised because the propaganda that they put out growing up, the things they said about us growing up, is unbelievable. And yet and still many people that I meet, they show you these images on TV and they show you these little families on these sitcoms and whatnot. Boy, and when you meet the actual civilians, they have tried to slaughter our minds into deifying people for no reason. A certain people, especially on the right-wing political spectrum, as full of hate as it is, that continually, like bots, spread the same rhetoric and garbage until it falls back on them. These people didn't care about others. They damn near wanted slavery. They honestly were still being hateful and chasing after people and murdering people. And that shit is flipping. As much shit as the United States talks about China, when y'all owe them trillions, they keep y'all economically safe because they buy everything. Everything we damn near used is made in China. The same way they talk about the Chinese is how they talk about the African Americans. And yet, when I do actual history, almost everything on this planet in some way, shape, or form was invented or touched by an African American. They'll talk about the father of medicine, the father of German psychology. And I look up what's actually happening, and what they did was they summarized all of it and put it all together. They had a couple of new innovations and whatnot, but then they put their name on the entire thing. And then when they want to go back before Germany, they'll say Greece and the Greeks. But then you do research on the Greeks, and they'll say Europeans were barbarians and Africans were sacred. Egyptians were sacred. Another thing I want to speak about is Arab hate. The Europeans are hating the Arabs, and the Arabs are hating themselves in their original culture and bloodline. Arabs, the Arabic nation, from what I can tell, how they want to talk about race all the time, would be Asiatic and African blood. They are literally mixed in that continent. While the Europeans that went to Africa have still not mixed. Look at South Africa. And they did the same thing in America. They refuse to mix, and they keep talking about some sacred bloodline because they do not understand evolution for some reason. When I say evolution, people start thinking about monkeys and gorillas and Pokemon and Charizard from Charmander. No. And then, as they rebuke it, they'll go get in a tanning booth and get darker after 30 minutes. So, like I said, you got one or two options. Either people are too stupid to see through the propaganda, or they know exactly what they're doing and hiding behind propaganda. Like, for instance, I hear people all the time saying, the far right, the left, this, Christianity, Mormonism, this is evil, isms are bad. But time and time again, what people fail to blame and judge actually is the human nature, character, behavior, and civilization that we are trying to perpetuate. A lot of times you see people crashing out of nowhere. And I've said this before, it's because we don't have proper outlets where people can actually learn. Even a lot of times when people do it, they're like, oh, that's bad. We're not supposed to talk about that. That's evil. Everything's repressed, and it's done for a reason. So then when people crack their institute, they can have their psychological institutions and their prisons and their this and that. One thing I'm starting to notice, and somebody brought this up, they brought up the pale horse, and I was like, damn, I've been talking about the dapple green horse for like the last 3, 4, 5 years. And I didn't expect to happen. A lot of right wingers and far right are attacking Caucasians, which I don't know. I didn't expect to see that. I thought the far right was going to start doing what they normally do. But in an instance of things, there's been a lot of shootings, and it's been towards Caucasians. And like I said, a lot of things shock me day by day. And I want to give you guys kind of like an idea or a metaphor, because I was watching a documentary on space, and the guy kept talking about infinites and infinity. He's like, the infinite universe getting infinitely bigger and infinitely twice as mass and infinite. And I keep telling humans, like, you shouldn't do certain things, and infinities outside of science. I mean, that is science, but like pi, right? Okay, that's nice to know it's forever to our understanding. But some things we start to mess with infinities, like heaven and hell. Even science does it. They go out into space and start making these space videos. It's all the imagination. We don't have the physical science to know certain things yet. And for all we know, we are a set of cells in an area of a body, and we're calling it the universe. And every big star we see is actually a chemical reaction happening, and that's I'm saying for all we know, we don't know. And so infinities start to hurt my head when people start to describe things with infinity, because that's not logical to even scientifically play with that number, because from where we are extremely fine, most things are extremely finite. And so messing with infinity is like almost a fallacy in certain areas. Like I said, everything exists for a reason, dude. I'm just giving y'all an example. So back to the original point at hand, you know what I mean? The Arab hatred for themselves, you're half African for the most part, from what I can tell. You're Asiatic and African. And you mix back when y'all did the Great Migration back to Africa back in the 1900s BC, I believe. That's what it was. So Yeah, just some of the stuff I'm seeing, I can't believe it. It's unimaginable. The farmers are begging for socialism welfare after all this mess they talked about Obama and China. And that's another thing. I keep telling they're going to corporatize this farmland. They're going to corporatize all this stuff. This mom and pop stuff, they're not going to tolerate anymore. They're not going to give civilians an opportunity. Like in the future, I see them owning all this shit. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, because what have I ever owned in this racist country? It's almost like karma. But what I'm saying is, even the elites are going to run into a problem because then, how do I explain this? Okay, you go to a sporting event. You're going to have people that's extremely better than you, and you're going to have people that's extremely worse than you. The problem with capitalism is you're not going to be maintaining whatever you're at right now. You're either going to skyrocket higher, maintain, or go lower. Here's why maintaining and going lower is dangerous. Because of your inflation. Remember the dollar bill balloon from your imaginary tree paper. So if the system continues to stay where it's at, those who are rich now will easily dwell back into the poor. How many people did that happen to in the Great Depression? After slavery ended, after these empires were crushed and new waves of thought came through, new inventions were brought forth. And so if you continue in this corrupt system, could even be in one lifetime, you could lose everything and become poor, and then you're in the same spot. But if you ultimately check, because like when I hear the rich being like, we don't want to give away our money, socialism, blah, 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 y'all sound psychotic. Like I've been around certain rich people and they'll brag about certain, I have a cottage in the condo and it's 50, 100,000, blah, 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 million. And I go to it once every 5 years. And then I have a boat that I go to once every blah, blah, blah. It's like y'all are doing shit that's unnecessary. And then those same people that were starving to death could have been helped if you all paid the proper portion. All these other countries have affordable health care. But capitalism, but insurance scams. Y'all sit here and put the dude who killed that CEO all over the TV and called him a domestic terrorist. Y'all gave the dude that killed Charlie Kirk, y'all tried to capital murder. That's when you kill a government official or a police officer. And y'all, please help me. Y'all took Dylan Roof to Burger King and he had that Burger King hat on. And I always thought that was disrespectful, but I did research on why that's important and why that was important to Dylan Roof to put that Burger King hat on. You know, there was a movement in the far right, alt right, where they would put on a Burger King hat and go in a building and assault all the African Americans and start screaming nigger until the police got there. So now that I know that y'all let him go to Burger King after killing 9 African people of non-African descent and put that hat on, y'all gonna fucking get what y'all looking for, because I'm not a terrorist. Because the pain of being somebody like me is I have to constantly tell myself I wouldn't hurt people. I just think about it sometimes, the nuke dropping and bam, back my ancestors. But then I hear cries from children. Mommy, Daddy, why? And it haunts me. And so I pray and I ask for strength and understanding to continue on and not become the people that I battle against daily. Because somebody gonna pay for that Burger King hat y'all let that motherfucker put on. I just don't know who yet. Because one thing I can tell y'all is that I may not be a violent person, but every nova that's too big, after it novas, turns into a black hole with too much density and gravity. And that shit ain't kind to not nan of the part of the universe around it. Y'all are so fucking evil that when people cry like me, y'all call us terrorists. But it won't be anymore. And the more that awaken, this shit will be crushed. I mean, because between the memes of George Floyd hanging and Obama hanging and the precious girl who just had a pot of water, right? And the lady that was sleeping on her couch, right? And the man with a bag of Skittles. Y'all got him signing Skittles and hoodies, man. Y'all so funny. I gotta tell you, this is some funny shit. But there's an old proverb and saying, he who laughs last truly laughs last. So one thing I gotta tell y'all, the circus is an amazing place. But what ends up happening to those clowns when they lose their grace? You know, it's so easy to call somebody like me a bigot, somebody that's full of hatred, somebody that advocates for us just getting along and making sure everybody's okay. But I gotta tell you, every time y'all say fuck socialism, every time y'all say fuck minorities, every time y'all say work, 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 it's not that bad. Every time you say other people are just lazy, somebody in power's hearing that shit. And they gonna work y'all like the slaves y'all wanna be. They gonna create institutions for y'all like the slaves y'all wanna be. And the more hatred y'all add to this motherfucking pot of chicken noodle soup, the more it's gonna boil over, baby. Because sometimes you guys probably ask, Juan, why don't you research? I hear people all the time. My good buddy tells me, John, he's like, but at your age, you're learning in wisdom. But at blah, and other people tell me, you're so intelligent. Who's this person to that person? And you should know it all. But I gotta tell you, with great intelligence comes great responsibility. Because it's hard knowing they cut your fathers and forefathers' skin off and turn it into leather. And then looking at them in the face and saying, hello, sir. It's hard knowing they bombed that church full of them little children, them little African-American girls. It's hard knowing they blew Martin Luther King brains out. But I have a lot of self-control. And I don't always have the proper outlet to express my fears, anger, and malicious feelings. But that is why I teach you all about who I am and my foundation. And why, though I may have the instinctual rage to crash the fuck out, I will never go in front of the stone. Because that fire is hot and it shoots out a lot. I'm not talking about the Germanic hell. I'm talking about the wisdom that comes when y'all worship them bells. Y'all talk about oceans. I'll keep sail. But you all shouldn't be learning from people that fail. These words that come in because I believe they're from something higher. I don't know when I am making destruction my sire. They say they have ultimate faith and belief, but there's something mystical about that thief. You don't need faith if it's infallible. I need to teach you how to be more controllable. If it was infallible, you wouldn't be confused about a will. You wouldn't be wondering who's about to open a seal. That means it's there. There's only confidence. So there will be no need to jump on both sides, opposite back and forth of the fence. I am that which is. I exist. I will continually say this and persist. That everything you add to your plates shall be eaten and devoured, including the hates. No matter what they call me and what I learn, if hatred grows in me, I will burn. Walk above the lake of fire and understand who I am. So that way, I can be likened to the Lamb. I have learned way too much recently. And the only thing that it's done outside of freeing my soul is give me confidence to realize that people are fucking liars sometimes, and they will do anything to perpetuate something that they love. Because some people don't want to prosper and want others to prosper. They want to prosper while watching others be destroyed. Them 10 commandments aren't there so you can kill people. They aren't there so you can worship more idols. It's the word that goes into the heart and creates a new spirit so that I can hear it. From there, outside transgressing those laws, I am who I am, and I am the one who irons out and unwrinkles my flaws. I understand certain people's need and wants to help other people when they see pain because they felt it. I understand people's rage. I understand how some of you feel right now. But listen to what I'm telling you. Be patient and enjoy what you can. Because from the bottom of my heart on up, those of you who are righteous, that's what's up. I don't need to create any more isms. Those of you who are righteous. If you would like to play in darkness, fuck off. Have fun. But if you are sick and fucking tired of the bullshit, he used the curse word. Am I cursing you right now? Did I place a curse on you right now? Are you giving the word more power than the fucking user? You all need to wake up and stop letting people slaughter your minds and you while then going, this isn't holy. That's not holy. He's not being nice. They're not being nice. Because then they'll use you for 400 years. And then at the end of it, they'll say, you were the problem. You were the murderer. You were. I will give you an example. What do everybody love? Westerns and cowboy country music. Have you ever sit and fucking watched a Western? A real Western. They murder each other by law, non-fucking stop. Just murderers the whole town. But they hate hoods and honor and gangs. Go look up the percentage of people that are on drugs. But they hate drug dealers and druggy communities. Almost every single one of them that complain and call somebody else an addict is addicted to something in the dark. And they love to fucking bark. Let me tell y'all something. The way y'all just talked about people of color and Native Americans and all of me, I don't see God, I don't see who I am doing anything for you. Listen, I want to tell you guys a Bible scripture since you all are so holier than thou and it's the infallible word. I will mock them in their time of need. What do y'all think Judah and Israel is representation of? Y'all think that's just some fucking island out there? What do you think a Jew versus a Gentile is? You think it's them people from Poland? It's everybody. You're either of the circumcision of the heart, which means you carved that stone heart and became new. And then once the fires came down, just like blacksmithing, it became armor. But no, I don't think some people metaphor. Go find ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to help you understanding what metaphors and analogies are and things that are like and as such. Y'all all are a part of this. Y'all have all spread this shit. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't care what you are. I like what Richard Dawkins, I think that's what his name, he said one time, South Park got his ass. Because I want to say something real quick. I don't know if this is their intentions. See, Trey and Matt, they seem like the guys. The reason why I like people like Trey and Matt is because when you look at them, they're like, huh, I'm funny, and I went to the place in that dress that one time, and I tried drugs. Them motherfuckers are smart. They're some smart motherfuckers. Because one, in order to do something political, you have to be serious. But then to turn it into a comedy that's so popular amongst humanity, there's something there. But see, I like what they do. They're humble. That's why they do that. I do the same thing a lot. I'm not comparing myself to them. I'm saying a lot of times you hear people saying, why are you stupid? You dumb. You play too much. Because it's not good to show your whole hand. And some people might not agree with what you're saying. And so it's best to enjoy your time. But back to what I was saying. Richard Dawkins was all about, the point of the episode was, oh, you think I'm a monkey? That's what Mrs. Garrison kept saying. He's like, oh, we're from, you're going to burn in hell. You think we're monkeys? Ooh, ooh. And Richard Dawkins was like, it's about science and evolution and we've evolved. And So this is why the episode was funny. And I'm not mocking, I'm not saying there were anything. I'm just saying this was funny food for thought for me. Richard Dawkins found out that Miss Garrison was a Mr. Garrison. Freaked the fuck out and lost it and ran out because it was a dude previously, which transitioned into a woman. Mrs. Garrison, of course, was like, you fit. I'm not going to say the word, but Mrs. Garrison called him a name, Faggot. And it's like a mind fuck. Like, that's Mrs. Garrison for you, being vulgar. But the reason why I thought that was funny is because the entire episode, he's trying to get people to understand the idea of evolution and not being stuck in your old ways. And once we scientifically learn something, it's a scientific innovation. But he wasn't ready to make love to an evolved woman. That's funny, ain't it? All right, so everybody has a little form of bias. The problem is when you take a fucking bullhorn, project that shit to the world, and start harming people with it. I'm a Christian, so Muslims and gays, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't make sense. Because the Muslims have Sharia and they don't like the gays either. So how do you hate the Muslims? They respect Yahya in their book too. And then, not only that, if a new prophet came out, I was like, no, I don't want that to be my son no more. Now the God is telling me I'm the... Then why would God can't change his mind? God can't have a son. God can't be a man. But y'all give him all these infallible fucking shits. What I'm saying is once I awakened, before I started getting entangled with it all, now then my mind said, contradiction. I don't care if it came from this book, that book, mom, dad, purple, up, green. I still love them, but... And I became more logical, spiritually and scientifically speaking. So, you got probably, oh, we don't do that. Then why are you mad that I'm saying to do it? There's obviously a spirit there, right? What is causing me to upset you? My personality, my character? Saying not to harm each other on camera? Do I not look, y'all hate Hollywood, but am I not pretty enough? Do I not have the right cameras for you? Do I not have the right Patreons? It's all hypocritical bullshit. What if my girlfriend has blonde hair and blue eyes, and I was going through it in life, and she saved me by connecting with me, becoming one with me, and being my ultimate love and giving me more fuel in life? Wouldn't that make her the savior? A blonde-haired, blue-eyed savior woman. Long hair, too. But see, y'all will hear that, and instead of hearing the joke behind it, you know how many people would fucking attack me for saying some shit like that? There's no humor in humanity. I heard an Asian woman coming out saying, why can't we have black joy? Where's black joy? Bruh, you know what type of foundation it takes to be brutalized and still be a loving, caring, joyful? I don't know. But as soon as people start listening to us and stop getting offended by everything we say, y'all say the white man is the most attacked. We don't have nothing. You have got to be fucking crazy to believe that. They see one black person, one lesbian, one fucking Asian in a commercial, and they lose it. What has been buried deep in your garden, whenever you see hate, I'm not saying all forms of hate is bad. I told y'all, when you cut off the dark side, that's a spiritual stroke. It's about controlling thyself. It's about knowing what's inside to know what's a battle. It's not about, oh, I seen this thought, I have anxiety, I'm scared. Okay, if you go through that, go get help. But what I'm telling you is, after what the fuck, I just seen a meme. Mankind, because mankind is the most dangerous fucking creature, yet they are so fake. Okay, so I was just watching it's this dude named Tony, and everybody in the comments is all like, he don't miss. I don't know what this is, but he's got long hair. And I like to call him Tony Montana because he don't miss, and he still ain't died. That's just a joke about Scarface. So, anyways, what I'm saying is basically he makes Harry Potter jokes videos sometimes, and they all showed up with wands. Well, the first video, he was like, hey, is this the dude? And he was Harry, and Ron was like, yeah, man, that's the one that destroyed everybody. And then as Harry walked up, he was like, oh, are you the boy whose parents died? And then all you go, boom! And Ron was like, oh shit. I guess that works that way. I mean, and I thought at that moment, like, damn, we do got some crazy technology. We violent. Then another one came where all the wizards was in class showing their wands, and they showed a wizard from America. He was like, I got the blicky, and it was this huge gun. And he was like, I like the spirit, but we have wands. He was like, no, this do more damage. I'm ready to run up on Voldemort. I'm ready. And I thought about that, and in the comments they were like, I guess somebody said, I never read I read the books, but not deep into the books. And they was like, I remember Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban. I think I read the Fire of the Phoenix one. But this was years ago in high school. And he said that a couple of comments was like the wizards had to hide from man because mankind was violent and their magic couldn't control. And I thought about it like, imagine, okay, what would you rather have, a nuke or an arcane fireball? Like, we don't realize how actually powerful we are. We went from being astonished that lightning was striking the ground and creating fire before we knew about it in Africa to to having explosives that can manipulate matter enough to destroy land masses for hundreds, maybe 1,000 years. We're not as innocent. We're all just innocent humans, and nearly we're all in this shit. And I think that's where the lack of forgiveness is coming from. I'm innocent because I felt pain and everybody else is evil. Thank you, God. And that's not so. We're all a part of this shit. And so I've rambled. But that Burger King crown shit, man, calm down. Y'all some funny motherfuckers, man. Got them. We got a saying in the black community. You got them. Yeah, it's fucked up, huh? Y'all let that motherfucker put on that butt. But I'm seeing a lot of mass shootings lately, and it ain't the hood. It ain't the hood. Somebody was talking out the side of his neck, boy. Somebody said he finally leaned left at the end there. That's y'all got the nerve to talk about Hitler and show documentaries about him, but y'all gonna glorify and idolize this man who the guy said, don't tell nobody where my judgment is, but y'all done already got him in heaven with his angel wings on after talking all that shit about the blacks. I wonder where y'all would be without African Americans in these wars and the Tuskegee Airmen. Nazis was kicking y'all ass. Boy. So yeah, man, I just, thou shalt not kill. Be peaceful, loving, merciful. Mind your P's and Q's, because that's what I want to say. Y'all be talking about God knows the judgment and everything. I said this before, y'all create images that have never been and never. Y'all talk about, the ancient man and they were in cults and blah. Y'all do the same shit. What is the Lord God and where'd that word come from? Right? What are all these vowels y'all put into these Hebrew languages that y'all could not comprehend or speak or anything that have been destroyed? That's what the oral law. The oral law. Only thing oral y'all know is mouthwash. L-O-fucking-L. Cause y'all, alright, I'm done. Cause y'all, good luck.